this is determined by the technical team, by the technical engineer who designs the whole rig. So the more strength in your mast is the more capacity you have in the strength of your construction of this mast. Let me explain to you on a land rig or a jack-up rig, reeving. It's very, very important, very, very important. Okay, I'll give you a small glimpse of the river here. Okay, let's start here. Now, your drawworks, which is this one, okay, is clamped. The wire line is clamped with a clamp over here. Make sure the clamp is good enough, and then it all the way runs all the way. The wire line, the drilling line runs all the way to the fast line. Then the wire line, which is 138, 1.5, doesn't matter, 1.25, depends on the horsepower of the rig, goes all the way up to the fast line. From the fast line it will come down all the way, go to the traveling block. From the traveling block it goes all the way up to the crown block. From the crown block again to the traveling block, and the last end from here will reach the deadline anchor. The deadline anchor will determine the weight of the drill string, how much you're going to lift. Okay, so your lifting capacity is then determined by the strength of your rig, which is probably for a 2000 horsepower a 1 million, okay, and for a lesser horsepower it could be 750 or 850, depends on the capacity of how much you need to lift. Okay, so the technology is very simple, you need to just follow. Then this entire process will determine your running in and pull out of the hole. Okay, so you pull out, run in, pull out, run in, and it's all over here. Okay, pull out, run in, pull out, run in, and the dead man will determine the weight, how much you are on your drill string running in and pull out. Okay, simple technology. Please try and understand. You have any questions, ask me. I'm here to help you guys. The youth need to know about this. We can't hide information. Sorry guys. Cheers and enjoy. So don't be confused. A 3000 horsepower rig requires a 1.2 million mast. Okay, so the mast is the main criteria of a rig to find out its capacity, how much you can lift. The power supply is no problem. You can add an engine, you can add 2 engines or 10 engines, but most important is your mast. For a 2000 horsepower rig also, it's a 1 million. And then for a 1000 horsepower, it's between 550 to 750. You can go up to 850 depending on the drill pipe you want to carry, or you want to lift, or you want to run the string with that weight. So everything is determined as per your capacity to lift from the drill string. So a 500 horsepower rig, I would say it's a 300,000 pound. Okay, so this is the thumb rule. So don't get confused guys, very simple, very easy, all here, note it down. And we have to share information from a 7/8 drilling line diameter, we can go up to 1/3 for a 3000 horsepower rig. So the lesser the capacity of the rig, the lesser the diameter of your drilling line, and when you maximize your capacity of the rig, you go higher with the horsepower. But horsepower is a self-determined kind of imaginary kind of benchmark, but definitely you need to make your rig or build your rig to this capacity to lift as much as you can. That is the determination of the capacity of a oil. So the horsepower of the rig is the strength of your mast capacity, not the number of engines you have. The more horsepower, in the sense the more capacity you have on this construction of this mast, to make it stronger with the thicker square pipe you use to build your rig, the more wider you go, the more strength. So this is determined by the technical team by the technical engineer who designs the whole rig. So the more strength in your mast is the more capacity you have in the strength of your construction of this mast. So horsepower is actually not horsepower, it is the strength of how many million pounds you can lift with this traveling block. Okay, simple technology. The more wider you go on your beam capacity or the beam dimensions, the wider you go, the more strength you have on this drilling mast. So imagine if this was say 5 mm, that means you are having a lesser capacity of this drilling mast. If you have 10 mm or maybe 50 mm, 100 mm, that's where you go higher and higher, because your main objective is how much you can lift from here. So don't get confused with horsepower, guys. How much you want to lift is what you determine your rig mast capacity and your drilling rig capacity. It's not the horsepower where the number of engines. You can have 5 engines, you can have 10, doesn't matter. Cheers, guys.